Molly.
And I'm Jane.
And we're also known as Camp Lovesick.
Today, we're starting the finishing touches.
And the first thing that we're doing to finish this camper off is the window trim. Let's show you how to do it.
So for our trim, we're using these pieces of premium 1x3s. They're already sanded down and they look really nice, but they are just a little bit too thick. So what I'm going to do is cut them down to be the size of our window frames, and then I'm going to rip them in half just so that they have that sleek, slender look that our camper is after. Now I'm going to miter my pieces into trapezoids because I'm very fancy. Now I'll do the same process for all the other windows. Corners. I'm going to be sanding these edges by hand with a fine grit sandpaper. That way I can keep my corners crisp and my wife happy. So what we're doing now is marking out where our little circular openers and closers are. That way we can jigsaw a space for them out of our trim.
So now that I have my rough idea of where this sits on this piece of trim, I can go with my little template that I've created to jigsaw out the hole so that you can be able to easily spin this open and closed and not pinch your fingers. Now that we have all of these jigsawed out, let's sand them down so that it's really nice and smooth and easy on the fingers. That took a while to do by hand, but doing it by hand is the best to make it super smooth and so that you can get beautiful curves that will feel so nice if your hands do happen to touch them. Now, let's stain them. So I'm wearing my What Would Jane Do shirt to channel Jane, who's currently working in the camper right now painting some things. We're gonna prep these window trims. And the way we're going to do that is by making them all into rectangles inside and then bringing them out, and then all we have to do is just brad nail them up. Okay, so how you're going to do this is you're going to take your pieces that you've cut, you're going to lay them upside down in a rough rectangle shape, and then what you're going to do once you have your rough shape in, trying to make it a rectangle as best you can, you'll take something that is a dependable right angle, and you'll put it in the corners to kind of make those a bit more perfect. So once you're happy with it and you really feel as though it's a good solid rectangle, you're gonna take super glue or hot glue, any sort of just fast setting glue, your right angle, and then you'll take piece by piece, put a little bit on the corner, and then you'll just attach the miters together. And just like that, we're done. So now all that we have to do is wait for this glue to dry, and then we can pick up these frames, take them inside, and install them. Okay, so since there's a little lip on the RV window frame, we've gone ahead and added little pieces of wood here. It's actually just pieces of hardboard to match that depth of that little lip so that when we brad nail the corners of our frames, it will sit flush on the wall. So now that our shims have dried on the back, we are ready to actually install this on the window. So it's super simple since we've pretty much already have it as one piece and we've done some of the installation already. All we have to do is just line it up, make sure it's straight and level, and then brad nail it in. So the reason why we're not actually going to use a level is because right now the camper is on a slight hill. So if we use the level, then everything is going to map out the hill that we did our whole conversion on. So it's best if you actually just really eyeball it because your camper is going to be parked on different angles and different levels as you travel. So if you just eyeball it based around the other lines that you're seeing around, it will always look straight. And there you go. One window is trimmed. Now let's do the rest.
exciting to be on finishing touches.
It's so incredible because so much of this covers up, all these finishing touches cover up what made it look like a trailer before, and now it looks like a home. Like, it feels like the most beautiful home in here.
It's so true. And next week we're gonna keep going on our finishing touches. We're making our own handles out of walnut pieces. It's gonna look really good.
It's gonna make all of these cabinets just so custom, so beautiful. It's gonna tie in this mixed wood that we have everywhere else. So don't miss it. Subscribe so we can see you next week, and we'll see you then.